Hey guys! Welcome to Couple. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. With the chance of hundreds of teachers ringing in their ears, Kentucky lawmakers voted on Friday to override the Republican governor's veto of a two-year state budget that increases public education spending with the help of a more than $480 million tax increase. The votes came as thousands of teachers rallied at the Capitol, forcing more than 30 school districts to close as the state continued the chorus of teacher protests across the country. The two-year state operating budget includes record new spending for public education, fueled by a 50-cent increase in the cigarette tax and a 6% sales tax on some services, including home and auto repairs. But Governor Matt Bevin vetoed the budget and revenue bills, calling the latter sloppy and non-transparent. He said it would not raise enough money to cover the new spending. The veto put Republican lawmakers in a tough position by asking them to vote a second time on a tax increase in an election year. But 57 House Republicans, later joined by just enough Senate Republicans, voted to override. "We have to have this revenue to fund our schools," said Representative Regina Huff, a Republican and middle school special education teacher. Democrats sided with the governor, but for different reasons. They said the tax increase disproportionately harms the poor while benefiting the wealthy. They wanted the vetoes to stand, which would have forced the governor to call a special session of the state legislature to pass a new budget. The House voted 57-40 to override the veto of the tax increase and 66-28 to override the budget veto. Later, without a vote to spare, the Republican-controlled Senate voted 20-18 to override the tax increase veto. Senate President Robert Stivers cast the decisive vote for the override. The Senate later voted 26-12 to override the budget veto. Mr. Bevin followed the debate closely, responding on Twitter to lawmakers' speeches. In one post, he said he had met with House and Senate leaders all week to propose more responsible ways to pay for 100% of the requested education funding. The rallies in Kentucky came amid teacher protests in Oklahoma and Arizona over low education funding and teacher pay. The demonstrations were inspired by West Virginia teachers, whose 9-day walkout after many years without raises led to a 5% pay increase. In Arizona, after weeks of teacher protests and walkout threats across the state, Governor Doug Ducey promised a net 20% raise by 2020. In Oklahoma, teachers ended 2 weeks of walkouts on Thursday, shifting their focus to electing pro-education candidates in November. Governor Mary Fallin signed legislation raising teacher salaries by about $6,000 and providing millions in new education funding, but many say schools need more money. Kentucky teachers have not asked for a raise. They are instead focused on education funding and a battle over their pensions.